X, obviously, like there's been a lot of talk about the big three, and one person dissing two people, and everybody wants to know who would win. So I don't know where you stand with this big three conversation, man. And by big three, I mean Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole. Um, have you been following that? Like, do you have a pick already, or you still watching it play itself out?
I'm still watching it. I've seen that J. Cole released a diss track,
Yeah.
and I also saw some video this morning on, I think it was on Twitter, where I was actually surprised where they said, where they interviewed J. Cole, and J. Cole also revealed that he played a part in Kendrick's
Signing.
signing with
Yeah.
Dre, with
Dr.
Dr.
Dre.
Dre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, that interview was released a long time
Yeah.
ago. But look, let me just be frank where I stand with this big three conversation, right? Firstly, I don't believe there's a big three. I think there's just a big one here. There's just Drake and everybody else basically trailing behind him. And I'll tell you why I believe so. Like, for anybody that has questions or doubts, right? I'm going to put it to you in unequivocal terms. Firstly, to be number one, you have to be active. This notion that I'm taking time to give quality over quantity. If you give quality, you give quality regardless. We don't hear Michael Jordan saying that I'm going to show up for this season and then I'm going to see the other season out. I'm just going to chill because I want to give you quality, right? He plays,
He
right?
played.
He played every single time until Michael Jordan stepped away and went to baseball and left the NBA. And when he came back to the NBA, it was still there waiting for him, right? The people that thought they could do it without Jordan, i.e., Scottie Pippen, they couldn't. In came Jordan, dominated still. So now, okay, how does this relate to Drake? So Kendrick, in however years, in 12 years, my brother, you've got 4 albums. 4 in 12 years. And Drake and J. Cole have been active. They average an album every 2 years, or a mixtape, or something. On top of that, they do features. Now let's talk about impact. How many new artists has Drake basically given platform to? Has given number ones. Young Thug made an interview where he says, I wish Kanye and Jay-Z could do what Drake does for us. If you are a billionaire, now I'm quoting Young Thug, if you are a billionaire, you know that a feature would do that person more good than it would for you. So meaning that you give that person his first number one because you don't need it. You already have it. You've made it already. So give another person time. Give them the platform to shine. And who has done that more than anyone in hip hop? Drizzy Drake, right? I've spoken about consistency now, which is drop solid body of work. If you are good at dropping quality, you don't need time to drop quality. Quality is quality. We've established that. 2, impact. Who have you given us? Don't talk about your cousin Lil Kim. Let's talk about, is it Lil Kim? Or whatever his name is, because that's the only one that you've brought, Kendrick. And J. Cole, yes, for some long time you felt like you're number 3, and now you feel like you're number 1, and you are in your prime and all of that. Look, J. Cole, I like you. In my opinion, you're my number 2. And I think your raps are very good. You've done it without controversy. Kendrick Lamar needs controversy. He did it with control. When he wanted to compete, he called his peers out, right? Cool. It died off. Years later, we're not talking about that. Now again, his what do you call it? His wave is dying out, right? He dropped an album we were there, we were neither there or there. It came and it left and nobody talked about it. And some of us, I like it, most people don't. But anyways, it is what it is. And now, guess what he does again? Controversy. This is the big three. He says, well, there's no big three, there's just big me. No, there's no big you here. You are a part-time rapper. You only show up when it's necessary for you to show up. And when you do, you don't stick that long. While others are here basically carrying the spot, you know. And this is why I'm saying that for all the disrespect Drake takes, mind you, he is battle tested. These two are not battle tested. Drake was battle tested with Common, put him on the coffin. He was battle tested with Meek Mill. Some argue that Meek Mill is not that great a rapper. Okay, but then Pusha T, his first loss came with Pusha T, right? I'm not going to count the others that are not really worthy of a mention, but with Pusha T. Okay, and they say, okay, but Drake has lost against Pusha T. And I always say, that's a TKO. That's a technical knockout. It's based on the shock value, not on the lyrical ability. If you compare those two songs together, now let's remove the shock value of the news that he's got a baby that nobody knew of. Let's just analyze the actual music itself, right? Then you'll find your truth. I'm not going to decide for you, but the truth is there. Lyrically, Duppy Freestyle was just a masterpiece. Now, battle tested. Now, be that as it may, yes, you may have lost, but so did Mike Tyson. So did Muhammad Ali. So what does a loss teach you in life? Actually, what a loss says is if you are able to take a loss and you are still able to rise and still become the best, then you are the best. Because when Muhammad Ali got beaten by Joe Frazier, it was not the end of Muhammad Ali when many people thought it was going to be the end of Muhammad Ali. The same goes for Tyson. Tyson lost to Lennox Lewis, and he was going to win a championship each and every decade. That's the greats. And Kendrick says, Prince outlived Michael. So in this case, he is Prince and Drake is Michael Jackson. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Just because Prince could play instruments and they say Prince was more talented than Michael Jackson, do not try and draw the parallels between your talent and Drake's talent. Drake can make any music. You can only make rap music. So if we're talking about talent, because none of you can play instruments, none of you are producers. So let's not even touch that. If Prince could play instruments, you aren't Prince. One. And when you say Prince outlived Michael, what do you mean? Outlive, I know there's a double entendre there. Outlive as in like he lived more than Michael. Michael died before Prince, right? Cool. I take that. But if you say career-wise, then you are kidding yourself because there is no one that has outlived Michael Jackson career-wise. Today we're talking about the king of pop as the greatest, the standard for music. Even though I don't agree with how he shakes his hip, but I'ma just keep it 100. You do not compare Prince and Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was far superior than Prince. In every way, shape or form, except for playing instruments. I'll give Prince that. So now let's talk about, I feel like this is a gimmick that everybody is scared of you. How dare you drop a verse where you basically, what you've done to J. Cole and Drake is you've just pushed them. And when they're pushing back, you are saying that they are scared of you. No, why don't you go for the punch? Did Tupac not go for the punch? To Biggie? There was enough subliminals being thrown around, you know, radio interviews that were a bit, you know, blurry. And Tupac went for the jugular, didn't he? So If you are the scariest MC, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you just putting out a diss track? Because you best believe Drake and Kendrick Lamar have been jabbing each other for 10 years now. So why don't you come out? You are the one that people are saying that, you know what, nobody wants to play with Kung Fu Kenny. Cool. I'm saying to you now, release the damn diss track. Let's see if nobody wants to play with you, because if you continue to play this jab game, then you're not in it, my brother. You are just a coward. You are pushing, you're shoving someone, and they're gonna shove you back until you show that you've got something. You know, they wanna see. Now, this is my last word. Now, Drake, my advice to you is let them die on their own. Do not wait it out. This is what I would do if I was you. Chill back, let them prove that they are number one, like they say, without you engaging in the diss, because remember, there's a 50% chance of Goliath defeating David, but he can't do it again. And if Goliath defeated David, there's no story. Nobody would be talking about it today. So you are Goliath, he is David. So be careful. When you go there, there is no win for you. It's a lose-lose situation. So if I was you, I would hold back. The only big three I would be concerned about if I was you is Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac. I would put Kanye in there, but to be quite honest, he doesn't rap. He wears pajamas. So I'll leave it at that. I'm telling you, my brother, those are the people that you are concerned about, not these ones. Leave these ones. These are small boys to you. Closing words?
Damn, you just said a mouthful. You just said a mouthful, man. I mean, like, damn, this is like. I think we should send this to MTV or someone, and Drake has to see this video, you know. Yes,
Yeah.
your number one fan over here, you know, is completely for you.